Hello guys, Represent Skywalker here. If I ever saw the art of Emerald Blast 63 because it was the art called Regret because the Shadow 5 very depressed and cried out because without Twilight who will be the next student of Crystal Prep, but I'm going to fix this of the why the friendship games is over, but what happened to the Shadowbolts? Why is some sort of a racist alliance? But the real reason why after the Matrix of Light head off, there could be a sequel to the Transformers Equestria Girls, known as the Uprising trilogy. The story about why the Wreckers turned into a revolution. Not to look like much as the Tron Uprising, because the Wreckers are very powerful, and the Impactor is the chief of the Crystal Prep, Crystal Prep Academy. So, how does Impactor lives, and how does the Autobots know, and why did Crystal Prep is in great danger? So let's have the information. After the events of the Matrix of Light, the Autobots went home to Cybertron, including the humans in Equestria. So Zeta Pine was still alive, and he tells the truth there could be another trouble. They call it Crystal Prep Academy. So the 6 new Autobots that could be Prowl, Drift, Blaster, Skyfire, and Whirl, including Wheeljack, because there were 6 wreckers entering to the lost world of Crystal City, but suddenly it has been repurposed by Cop, and it transformed into a blue suited armor, look like a uniform. Later that day, they switched on their holomatter avatars, so they're wearing those blue uniforms. That is a good design, and they had a mission to stop the mercenary. There were 6 mercenaries. They called Exhaust, Bugbite, Octane, Sound Blaster, Snapdragon, and also Double Dealer, because there were 6 mercenaries has a plan to hypnotize every Crystal Prep Academy without the Shadow 5. So Principal Cadence arrives to the Crystal City Wreckers, so they had a mission to save the Crystal Prep Academy. So they had to stop after the events of the Wreckers Uprising, so the Wreckers defeated the Quintessence in the volcanic lava and it fell down. And they had journeyed for the quest to find the Sword of Primus. It was the key of the destiny to take it. And after it was disappeared to another dimension. Or it's just a wrong script in the word in the sea. That was wrong. The second chapter, known as Wreckers Uprising, called it Peace Through Tyranny, that Wheeljack has giving a nightmare because there could be Shadowbolts. They're called enemies because Wheeljack found a vision because Wreckers, because they betrayed us, and Wheeljack wakes up and the Wreckers thinking about why Wheeljack having a nightmare. And after the Wreckers are failed because of the dictators known as the Overlord and Principal Cinch. But Principal Cinch was disguised as Cyclonus, but it could be a theory or something. And after Optimus Primal, he is the captain survivor of the Crystal City Wreckers, with hundreds of Crystal City Wreckers that they chose, but they wearing those blue uniforms. After that, Wheeljack betrays the Wreckers and he wants to leave, and Wheeljack see the possession of Midnight Sparkle into the Spectrometer, because the reason why Midnight Sparkle said that the Shadowbolts are the enemies, but Wheeljack keeps angry because he wants to turn evil and he renamed Slicer. So they're going to hunt the Shadowbolt 5, and since the Wrecker 5 they're gas, and Optimus Primal has to find Impactor to the flowing crystals to the rivers, and after they had the journey to the Wreckers, and soon they found Impactor on the crashed ship, and later that day they had a revolution awaits. They had to wear a new armor, and they will begin to fight for Crystal Prep Academy to save the Shadowbolts. Also included Rodimus. They want to confront Slicer and reform back to Wheeljack. After the battle, and they found the true identity of Cyclonus is Principal Cinch. But Springer doesn't like Cyclonus, but Wheeljack invented Ion Shock Blaster, just like the G1 has been a failure experiment. But suddenly Wheeljack blasted Principal Cinch, aka Cyclonus, but it worked. But after that, the Wreckers keep busy to rebuild the Crystal Prep Academy. But later that on, Wheeljack has been, replaced to the elite guard, but he will never becoming a Wrecker again. Uh, you think that from the Records Uprising, and after there could be a movies of the two, but there's a third series, Records Uprising series, because it's some sort of look like much the story about Drip's destiny, because why that Overlord has been returned, and the Records had a mission to protect the Crystal Prep, and suddenly they had a loving with Sugarcoat, and those surrounded by idiots by like Prowl, also Blaster. They look like dorky twins, like Indigo and Lemon Zest. You get just like because Prowl is such an energetic from Lance from Voltron because those okay. Let's hear about those cast. The cast of Wheeljack is Elijah Wood, and Prowl is the voice of Jeremy Shada. I like that voice actor, Jeremy Shada, and Blaster is Andrew Francis. That's good. But just like from since the previous Ninjago, they had a new voice actor of Cole Brookstone. Yeah, that's good. And Whirl, voiced by Jeremy Levy, but also Skyfire because same voice Jeremy Levy. And after that, Drift has a voice named Brent Miller because from Ninjago he looks like Zane because Zane is Drift because I like the voice of Drift because I want the Zane's impression because they want to use the Shadow Profile and I don't ever think about the shipping moment of Sugarcoat X Drift because they're making an ice cream bonding. So if you don't know about the Records Uprising, joined up to the Friendship Games because there's a timeline. After the Friendship Games, they headed up to the Uprising trilogy since the previous Transformers Equestria Girls quadrilogy saga. So that's what happened to the next chapter. Alright, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and list down in the comments.